the Cowboys win total, for their season outlook, for any of that stuff. No, it means nothing.
You're right.
But what it does do is
It's
it does put pressure on Dak Prescott. I'm sorry, it does. I don't care what
Stop,
Trey Lance
Nick,
looked like.
stop.
It does. It does, because he's going to think, why? Why, when you already had Cooper Rush, why
Fair.
do you trade for Trey Lance? Why? He's going to be thinking about that.
I think he's
he
thinking
threw 15
probably like
interceptions last year.
Yeah. I think he's probably like, if I get hurt. I mean, remember on Hard Knocks when like Cooper Rush and those guys and Ben DiNucci were trying to take reps from Dak, and he's like, "No, get the F off the field, man."
You think this isn't going to bug him? This is going to bug him. Aaron Rodgers got upset that the Packers traded up for Jordan Love. Okay,
That's the other thing. McCarthy's probably like, "Damn, I should have taken a first round pick that last year and pushed Aaron Rodgers. Now I could do it to Dak." See, when some zig, Mike McCarthy zags. I'm telling you guys, man. Everybody hypes up Sean Payton. All Sean Payton is a skinnier version of Mike McCarthy. He's not so skinny himself either.
this is mind-blowing to me.
Isn't it, though?
Like, if you had said it was Jonathan Taylor, I'd go, oh, they made a smart decision. Now you can run the football more. You've added another weapon to that offense, and you take the pressure off Tony Pollard having to run the ball 25 times a game.
They got a fourth-round pick for Trey Lance.
Oh,
I'm not going to lie.
For the 49ers, that's not bad.
That's decent value.
That's not bad at all.
Because you know what that could be? In the Shanahan offense, that could be your next running back, to be honest. I mean, McCaffrey, still has a couple more years. I mean, and, Mitchell, but you use your backs there. Or it could be, I don't know.
Clearly the 49ers can find value in late rounds.
Yeah.
Clearly he's a project. We understand that. Clearly it's a couple years of development, bare minimum. The difference for me, though, is if they just signed him in free agency, oh, yeah, take a flyer, right?
Yeah.
The difference is they gave up. Look, a fourth-round pick is valuable in the NFL. That you can get value in the fourth round. Giving up a fourth-round pick for a player that you see as a project tells me that this is a plan B. If we can develop him and Dak doesn't work out, maybe the stars align and this guy becomes our quarterback. It's not out of the realm of possibility because it's more. You gave up something to bring him in. You had to make a sacrifice to make it worth your time, which tells you that there's more there than just he's a guy we pick up on the free agent market up off the scrap heap. That's totally different. When teams were signing Josh Rosen for nothing, who never talk about a guy that never got an opportunity to succeed.
Yeah.
That made sense. You're not giving up anything if you're signing him to your practice squad.
Right.
If the Cowboys signed Trey Lance to the practice squad, he was a free agent, well, that's different. This is they gave up a fourth-round pick. That tells you something. That tells you what they think they see in him, and that there's at least a tiny question, right? This is somebody you've been dating a long time, and you're sitting there and you still have questions, and you just start flirting just a little bit when you're out with the guys.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Just in case, just to see. Let me just see what else is out. Let me just have a conversation. Let's just talk. Let's see if there's any connection out there that feels different than the relationship I'm already in right now. It's in the back of their minds with this. So you'd expect regression. Here's the thing to keep in mind that he points out, and a reason why I am still okay with the Vikings winning the division, winning double-digit games. Here's why. Because teams that were the last two teams to outperform what he calls their expected wins based on point differential, right? Bigger the point differential, usually the better team you are. We talk about run differential in baseball, all those things.
Oh, yeah.
You're beating teams by more, it makes sense. The Vikings were a -3. So they won 13 games, but they were a -3. Teams that were in that position went from an .854 win percentage in one-score games to just a .517 win percentage the next year. So clearly, you regress. It starts to level out a little bit. But 3 of those 11 teams managed to maintain their record from the previous season. Another team declined, but still actually won the Super Bowl as part of this list. The big thing for me is the Vikings could lose 4 more games. They could go 9-8 this year and still win that division.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, man. Also, like, you look at the schedule that they play this season, not too tough, like right in the middle of the pack, 15th toughest schedule, and it's in the NFC. And in that division, there's just a lot of question marks, Is Justin Fields the guy? Is Jordan Love the guy? Green Bay, you feel a little bit better about their defense than you do Chicago. Detroit, we're hyping up, but Detroit hasn't won the division, won the conference since they've been in the NFC North, really, since 1993. And it was a different division at the time. So, yeah, I mean, I could see there being a drop-off, obviously, because of the defensive side of the ball, but they're still really good offensively if everybody stays healthy with Kirk Cousins. I actually think they upgrade a little bit in the wide receiver room with Jordan Addison out of USC now taking over the Adam Thielen role. Run game, I don't really care about Delvin Cook being gone because they weren't really good running the football last year. They just need that offensive line to stay healthy and not play with 4 or 5 different combinations during the season. So I could see there being huge regression. I'm not there with Minnesota this season, but would I be shocked if they won 11 games in a week NFC North? No, not at all.
And this is what two new coordinators on both sides of the football. You've got some turnover on defense, and you've got to now expect, one, Jalen Hurts to stay healthy the entire season, and two, still take that next step. He has to continue to get better each and every year, because if you don't and you start leveling out, teams figure you out, and you don't have the same level of success. I wouldn't look at the Eagles, though, and say a team that's going to regress. They can be just as good. They can win 13 games, 12 games, and maybe still have the best record in the entire NFC.
Yeah, see, I still think they win double-digit games. I just like Dallas a little bit more because of what Philadelphia's lost. You have a bunch of young guys coming in.
Because of Trey Lance, too?
I still like Nick Sirianni. But last year also, the Eagles had some luck, right? It was really Jalen's first year as a full-time starter because he took over, midway through the season. And they also faced the easiest schedule of opponents last year on both sides of the ball. The second easiest opposing offenses and defenses. This year they have the sixth largest increase in schedule difficulty, so they play a tougher schedule. Also last year, like we talk about with most teams, and there is a lot of parity in the league, they were 7-1 in one-score games. If those go the other way, maybe they regress. But they're going to be favored in 15 games. I definitely think they're a playoff team. But, yeah, I don't know if they get to 14 again, man. But Jalen was so damn good when he was out there. Let's see if he can do that again this year. And let's see how those replacement players are, those young guys from Georgia and whatnot on the defensive side of the ball.
All right. Is the one that I struggle with the most, only because we're talking about, at that point, a sub-500 record. Now, you are in the AFC. It's going to be a lot tougher for them, but I just don't. I would look at the Eagles regressing more and losing, 2 more games, let's say, and be more comfortable betting that as opposed to betting the Steelers being a 7-win team this season.
Yeah, man, I think if anything, the Steelers get better, to be honest. I get what he's saying. I get why you would think there might be some regression because the AFC is more loaded. But last year also, T.J. Watt only played 10 games. Imagine if he even plays 14.
Yeah.
If he's healthy the majority of the season, he's never played less than 15 games. Every single year he has double-digit sacks. 2021, he had 22.5 sacks. Last year, he only had 5.5. He missed the majority of the season. He stays healthy. That changes that defense, and now they have an actual offense. I'm going to go with the Steelers are better this season. Even if, I don't know, man. Even if they're still an 8-win team, I think they show more this year.
That's the for the New England Patriots is not only you're not getting Alabama Mac now. It's not that you're not getting rookie Mac Jones. It's that you're getting a continued to regress Mac Jones. The defense is going to be strong for the Patriots. It's been that way. That's still their calling card. We know they cycle through running backs. Bill Belichick figures that out, but he's always won with a quarterback. Since Tom Brady left, hasn't been able to find that guy. But you draft Mac Jones in the first round, you're drafting somebody that you hope is going to be at least a short-term franchise quarterback, a few years, a good quality starter, bare minimum. And if you don't see that, as you add Bill O'Brien as the offensive coordinator, then you're going to have to make some tough decisions as soon as this offseason. And we know that Bill Belichick's not afraid to make those decisions. Or he just decides, you know what, I'm done. Yeah. I'm going to retire. That's it. I just don't want to coach football anymore. On to the next thing.
See, I was going to say, and I love that, Bill. I was going to say, worst case scenario might be, let's say they win 7-8 games and they fire Bill, which
never going to happen.
I don't think so either, man.
Never going to happen.
And then you got 20 years of just mediocrity coming. No, I agree.
You know what? They deserve it. Patriots fans, you've had so much winning. You need to suffer like the rest of us, damn it.
I have to, there's a couple worst case scenarios. You know what would suck for the Patriots? Remember the year that they won double-digit games when Tom Brady got hurt? He tore his ACL with Matt Castle, and they still lost. They still didn't make the playoffs, I should say. What if that happens again this year? Because that division is just so loaded. Everybody wins 12 games, and then they're sitting there with 10, and they have to sit at home. But I completely agree. Because Bill O'Brien is the play caller. He's an obvious upgrade over Matt Patricia. This wall is an upgrade over Matt Patricia as a play caller. But if Bill O'Brien can't find that magic with Mac Jones, then, like you said, man, then Mac's not your guy. Then that might be the worst quarterback class ever, other than Trevor Lawrence, by the way, too. Unless Justin Fields could find it this year. But
yeah, that's true. That would be that's there was a lot of hype around that group.
Yeah, I like Bailey Zappi. He's not an NFL starting quarterback. And the Patriots, I don't think they'll be bad enough to get one of those top guys, right?
So Bill Belichick will never really tank.
No.
That's the thing.
And that's why I was going to say, this could happen, that could happen. They're not going to drop off completely defensively. Even if it's a bad year, they're going to be top 15 because that's just what Belichick does. And that's why I don't think you could fire Belichick.
No,
he might not be the best motivator these days. He's too busy at Swift concerts. He is a Swiftie, though. That was the best clip.
I'm actually a big fan of Taylor Swift. I love all of her music. It's very high energy.
That was the best viral clip of the offseason. Him calling Taylor Swift, that's English, tough for sitting in the rain and performing. She is, though.
She is very tough. I got to say, she gets out there and performs. You go out there and tough. She's a football player if she wants to be. I would sign her a wide receiver if she wanted to.
What do you think Bill would do if he wasn't an NFL coach?
Motivational speaker. No.
Stop.
It's
a great question, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
What would Bill Belichick if it was nothing to do with football, nothing to do with sports? You know,
he would do a job like where you don't have to talk to anybody.
So you know what he'd be? He'd be an engineer.
Yeah.
He'd be an engineer, and he would not have to talk to anybody, and he would just work with things, equipment. He'd use his brain, and he'd build stuff.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah.
Be nothing else. He wouldn't talk to people.
He probably.
I vote talking job, real estate agent.
Think so?
Nick, pull out your Belichick.
Well, I know interest rates have gone up lately, but I think there's a lot of value here right now. And if you look,
forget about the numbers, Coach. Sell me this condo and the beautiful backsplashes.
So if you look closely out this window here, you have a beautiful view of the city. It's very bright. The sunrises and sunsets are both very, very beautiful. We can maybe get the asking price down just a little bit. I'll see what I can do. But if you don't like it, it's on to the next one without question. Don't worry, we're fine. You know it. Those are best case scenarios. Worst case scenario for the Baltimore Ravens, it's not even Lamar Jackson getting hurt. I'm actually less concerned about that this year.
Same.
It's more about Odell Beckham Jr. looking older and less explosive. That's really still supposed to be one of your major additions this offseason. And if he looks like a guy that's, well, he's either hurt and in and out of the lineup for them, and he's not playing every single week, or when he's out there, he's just not productive, you've lost a major advantage that you have. Because Lamar Jackson will be out there and will play a little more hurt than he has in the past. He's secure. He got the bag. He's good. We're not going to have, unless it's serious injuries, we're not going to have what we had at the end of last season.
Yeah, you know what's crazy, man? The only concern I have with Baltimore, I think Lamar stays healthy. I think that offense is going to be really, really good this year as well. My concern is actually the defense for the first time ever with the Baltimore Ravens. Not just the pass rush. Patrick Queen isn't the guy you wanted him to be. And I know you upgraded the inside linebacker position with the trade you make for Roquan Smith in the middle of the year last year. But secondary, and there's already injuries. That's my main concern. I would love to see them make a deal, sign a couple guys off the street if they need to, add some depth at that position. That's the only concern I have, though, is that Ravens defense top 15. I think they at least need to be there for them to be a Super Bowl contender.